wonder how much it costs to sort of change these manuals to do this. Have you heard about this? The White House is scrapping all references to Islam in terror training materials. So I guess they go right back to the publisher. This after a lot of Muslim groups were calling him offensive. But John Bolton says, nix him, and you're putting our whole nation at risk. The former ambassador of the United Nations with me right now. I imagine there are a bunch of manuals out like this, and the Islam reference is there. So leaving aside the cost to remove the Islam reference, you fear the bigger message, which is what?
Well, the reason that counter-terrorist investigators are schooled in Islam, presumably, and particularly the radical politicized forms of Islam, is so that they can understand what motivates the terrorists. They can understand some of their communications better. This doesn't represent a condemnation of Islam wholesale. Nobody's saying that I'm aware of in federal law enforcement. But it's a way to help the investigators understand the potential nature of the threat. And the notion that some political decision maker is going to undertake to decide how the investigators are best trained, I find very frightening for the safety of everybody in the country.
Do you have to put Islam in an anti-terror manual? I don't even know how a manual would read, to understand that they're a potential threat along with everyone else?
Well, I think, for example, if you look at Al-Qaeda and their communications with their membership, their private coded communications, there are lots of references to events in Islamic history. There are phrases from the Holy Quran. There are a variety of things that are commonplace to them as part of their tradition and culture that the investigators would simply miss if they didn't have training. And I think this kind of training for law enforcement people, whatever their particular specialty, you have to know where the nature of the threat is. And the idea that somehow this kind of training is viewed as biased against Muslims or as inherently prejudiced, I just think is crazy. I think this is a form of thought control, particularly from some of the groups that are advocating it, and dangerous for the rest of American society.